Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Planetarium show. My name is Jessica. I'm the director of the Planetarium, and with me tonight is one of our students, who is a familiar face if you've been here before, but I will still let him introduce himself.
Hi there. My name's Eli. I'm a physics and astronomy student at UMD.
So, tonight we have another edition of Ask an Astronomer, where we are going to be here to answer your questions, any and all of them. Hopefully, we will have answers for you. I don't think we've been fully stumped by anyone yet. So, go ahead and start putting those questions down in the comments. And while we wait for those to come in, we also have a few fun kind of space news stories to tell you about. Eli, do you want to do yours first?
Well, we actually just got two questions, so I don't know if we want to
Oh,
address them
we did
first.
already?
Yeah.
Cool,
First
let's do it.
one, are there any constellations named after insects or arachnids? There's Scorpio.
And that's just Greek. I know there is and I don't remember which Native American tribe, but there's one that's a spider.
Yep, that's right.
Because I think Corona Borealis is a spider in another culture.
Yeah. I'm trying classical constellations though. Scorpio. Um,
I don't know the Southern Hemisphere constellations.
I don't think there are, and there's none after arachnids in classical. I don't think.
I don't think
Uh,
so.
I don't know. There's a crustacean. There's Cancer.
Oh, yeah, there's a crab. Yeah.
There's such thing as spider crabs, so maybe that's close. Um,
But definitely, as well, I mean, there are lots of other constellations from other cultures.
time. And then if you had a favorite star formation, what would you name it?
Ooh,
I guess it depends on what it looks like or what I see. Or is it
favorites?
like if you had to rename one?
Maybe. So I will just say my favorite constellation is hands down Orion. Definitely because it is the first constellation that I learned to recognize, and that I learned. So it's just that's the one that I was always just like excited to see in the sky and knew that I could pick it out myself. And then he was just always like my little buddy up in the winter sky. I don't think I would want to rename him though.
I would rename Aries to Nike because it looks like the Nike swoosh.
No, okay. I would rather be a tiny little ram horn than a Nike swoosh.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the horn. Yeah, but it does look. It's like exactly the Nike swoosh. Um, and then the other one is what elements will you find if you mine or if we mine asteroids? There are a couple types of asteroids,
There
like
are.
different combinations. Let me see. Let me see if I can dig back. So there's like the rocky ones that are made out of like silicate and like
Hmm.
rocks, and then there's the metallic ones that are like nickel and iron and
Hmm.
things like that. Yeah. So
So those
we'd want to
are
mine.
S types are the rocky, just like what we have here on Earth's crust. M types are the metals, which is what the core of the Earth is like. There's also carbon rich asteroids, which tend to be in the outer asteroid belt. Those have a lot of carbon and carbon compounds, including amino acids and stuff. They also have a lot of water in them as well. But basically, the same minerals and things that we find here on Earth, we find in asteroids because asteroids are the building blocks of the planet. The things that we call asteroids today are pieces that just weren't incorporated into a planet, but the planet's formed from pieces just like them.
Right. I remember I read something, and I don't know exactly how legit this is, so Jessica, you might have to correct me, but I remember I read something that like one of the things, like it's not what we would find a lot of, but it would be one of the more valuable things we would find if we did that in very small amounts, just like we find it in very small amounts on Earth, is americium, because it's really useful for like smoke detectors. Like americium, there's americium in all your smoke detectors. That's what
Really?
like something about some pressure makes it like decay, and then that's what sets the smoke detector off. Like
I
something
didn't
about
know
the smoke
this.
does that, so that's what's in smoke detectors.
Huh.
I remember they said that that would be really good because then we'd have more americium for smoke detectors.
That's definitely not something I've heard, but that's cool.
Yeah, little smoke detector. Info note. I'm actually gonna fact check myself.
Oh, okay.
I know it's. Yes. Yep.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Cool. Sweet. Um, we don't have any more questions.
Not
So
yet. So
should I get into my
yeah, do your news bits.
cool? Okay. I'm gonna try to get this into presenter view. So you're gonna have to tell me if the window looks like messed up.
Okay.
I'll try to make it large right off the bat, though. Does that look good?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So TESS, which is NASA's, the official name is Transiting Exoplanet Survey Satellite, which is a space telescope that is designed to watch, like it'll watch stars and then it waits to see when exoplanets that are super hard to detect because they're so small pass in front of the star and they cause a little bit of a shadow on it. They look for that little decrease in how much light the telescope is seeing. And so if the telescope sees a periodic dip in how much light is reaching the telescope, it knows that something's orbiting the star. That's how it finds exoplanets primarily. So using that data from that telescope, astronomers have identified 4 new exoplanets. And this is a quote, the planets in both systems are in a transitional or teenage phase of their life cycle, said Christina Hedges, an astronomer at the Bay Area Environmental Research Institute and NASA's Ames Research Center. They're not newborns, but they're also not settled down. Learning more about planets in this teen stage will ultimately help us understand older planets in other systems. So actually a pretty big discovery. TESS has found a lot of exoplanets so far, but these 4 are kind of unique in the sense that they highlight this intermediate stage in planetary development. So it's a pretty big deal.
That's kind of
And
awesome that we've got, because I do believe, I don't know if it was the last Ask an Astronomer or the one before. I talked about um, citizen science with TESS finding 2 planets, 2 like Neptune-like planets.
yeah,
So that's like some pretty quick, like they're really
was that the
finding
one
them
that
now.
high schoolers did? Did high schoolers do that?
Anyway, it's the one with Galaxy Zoo, although it's not Galaxy Zoo anymore.
I know recently high schoolers found a couple new exoplanets using test data. So that's kind
That
of cool.
that might have been it. I don't remember all the details.
Okay, so to kind of talk more about this these new exoplanets, there's a short video that NASA has that I'll play now. This music is awesome.
Sorry, Quinn is adamant on being heard today. Hell, orbit in half a day.
Yeah.
That is really close.
Yeah, cool little video. It's cool that they figured out that, or have, I think that they figured out that they came from the same gas cloud because of their like
Yeah.
similar direction they're moving. That's really cool. I guess I never would have thought about that. No, please don't start again. There we go. Okay, cool. So the other thing I want to talk about is so NASA's Artemis program is developing a orbiter to be around the moon to act as kind of a
Space station.
second base, yeah, space station, second base of operations for missions that are going to be going further than the moon within the next couple of years. I think that's going to start like the space station is called Gateway, is going to be around the moon by 2024. I think they
I
said.
think is what it said. Yeah.
So NASA and Northrop Grumman have finalized a contract to develop the Habitation and Logistics Outpost, which is being abbreviated to HALO, which is just like the living quarters. And NASA and its commercial and international partners are building Gateway to support science investigations and enable surface landings at the moon, which will help prepare astronauts for future missions to Mars. The firm fixed price contract is valued at $935 million. And under the contract, Northrop Grumman will be responsible for attaching and testing the integrated HALO with the power and propulsion element being built by Maxar Technologies, which is the other part of the station that's being planned right now, which is going to drive its movement. And Northrop Grumman will also lead the integrated PPE, which is the power and propulsion element, and HALO spacecraft turnover and launch preparation with SpaceX, and support activation and checkout of HALO during the flight to lunar orbit. So it's really cool because this this Gateway project is becoming kind of a four-way collaboration between SpaceX, Maxar Technologies, Northrop Grumman, and NASA. And I'm sure as we decide more things that we want to add to Gateway, it'll become a collaboration between more companies. So it's really cool that these plans are moving forward, because I'm really excited, because this Artemis program around the moon is kind of our, I mean, as the name of the station would suggest, kind of our gateway to missions further than the moon with humans, which have never been done before. And I know Mr. Elon Musk has been throwing around numbers for when we're going to have people at Mars, and that's the 2030s. So pretty cool. It's going to be awesome.
And the other steps of the Artemis program are also really hitting milestones. I was reading earlier today that the NASA's Orion capsule and was it the Space Launch System, the rocket that's going to take it up, is making its way through the stages to prep for its first test launch. They're hoping to do a test launch off Earth to the moon, around the moon, and back by the end of the year, which is going to be really exciting.
A lot faster than I thought that was going to happen. Was that planned to happen this year, or did they just encounter some good fortune?
I have never seen a date for that. So yeah, seeing that date by the end of this year is just, I'm so excited.
We're still waiting on James Webb.
Don't.
We also just got another question. Meteor shower, talking about the Perseids, I'm assuming.
Probably.
We'll get there. We've got plans for when the Perseids is going to be at its peak. You can see the Perseids right now, I think. Did our stream go up?
No, I accidentally clicked off Zoom, and we're good. We're good. It's back.
Okay, cool. You can see it right now. It's not going to be fantastic. The best part is like a week and a half into August, which we'll talk more about later, I think.
Which, right? Yeah, I can go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
I will go ahead and talk about it. So, some of you may know that for the past few years, we have done our Dark Sky Caravan in August, where we've taken telescopes and our portable planetarium all along the North Shore. Last year, that moved to be completely virtual because of, pandemic. This year, we are bringing back some of the in-person parts and doing a little bit of traveling with it. And we have specifically timed the event to be during the peak of the Perseids. So this is our kind of rough schedule right now. So the Dark Sky Caravan is going to be August 9th through 14th, where the peak of the Perseids is like the 12th, 13th, and 14th, I believe. It's like at the end of that week. We're going to be at super dark skies. I'm excited. So the first 2 days are going to be virtual programming right here on Facebook Live. Wednesday, we're going to have a star party in Duluth, which is going to be us with our telescopes and some awesome laser pointers, and some backup plans if there are clouds, because that is always something you've got to worry about when observing. So yeah, that's going to be Wednesday the 11th. Then on the 12th, we're heading up to Taguchi State Park to do a star party. The 13th will be in Grand Marais, and the 14th will be up the Gunflint Trail at the Chickawauk Museum and Nature Center, which has got incredibly dark skies, and is always kind of our end point for this caravan. Is kind of, we're heading to progressively darker skies, and to just try and promote awareness for this and why we want to keep it around. Thank you, Quinn. Quinn is also very excited about this. So yeah, we don't have all of our locations confirmed as far as where exactly in Duluth and where exactly in Grand Marais, but I should have that information by the end of this week. So expect a full detailed post probably next week with all of the exact locations, dates, and times. But we're excited to be getting back out and doing this. Any other questions, or should I just head on to my topics?
Yeah, jump into yours.
All right. So I'm going in slightly reverse order, but first thing I want to mention, because Quinn is also excited about this. If you know me, I am a huge lover of Pluto. Was my favorite planet as a child. And today marks the 6th anniversary of New Horizons' flyby of Pluto, which gave us some absolutely stunning images and a ton of new questions that we still are digging through the data to try and figure out. So I just had to bring this up and highlight it because it's Pluto, and I will always talk about Pluto. The other thing I wanted to give is an update on Percy and Jenny, because I always do that as well. So Percy and Jenny is Perseverance and Ingenuity. Perseverance is the newest rover that NASA landed on Mars, and Ingenuity is, excuse me, the helicopter that came with it, our first ever flight on another world. And Ingenuity has now actually made 9 successful flights. These are a couple of pictures from that 9th flight. It's really highlighting some of the real benefits to having a helicopter paired with the rover, because what Jenny has been doing is actually scouting out locations for Perseverance to go and take data and samples and analyze. So this picture on the left is one of these areas that Ingenuity saw on its flight, and the NASA scientists have decided that that is going to be a target because they're really interested in the sort of features that are going on here, and kind of analyzing the rocks and stuff more. And then another thing that Ingenuity is able to do is actually take observations of places that Perseverance can't go. And that's what we're seeing here on the right. This is a picture of sand dunes on Mars. Mars is covered in sand, but this sandy area is too deep for Perseverance to travel through. It would get stuck in that sand. But Ingenuity is able to get a much closer look at it because it can just hover above the sand. So it's able to look at places that Percy can't go and give us even more information. And I believe that because of the tremendous success of Ingenuity, NASA is already working on a bigger and better copter to send to Mars in the future to just expand on this even more, which is exciting, and I love it. And if you've been to these, you know how excited I get and how much I love these. So yeah, just a few updates from our beloved rover and helicopter on Mars. So yeah. All right. Well, I'm not seeing any other questions coming in. Are you?
Mm.
Quinn has questions. Unfortunately, my translator isn't working, so I don't know what she wants. Do you want to come say hi, Quinn? No, she doesn't want to actually come up on camera. I'm trying to think of a couple of other things that I read recently. Oh, there's been an update on the mysterious phosphine found on Venus. If you
Yeah, didn't it?
remember,
Yeah,
yeah.
it
So,
got hosed, right?
well, yes and no. The newest update is saying that it may actually be there. Um,
Well, yeah, it's
so
there, but it's not. We don't have probable cause to believe that it's because of.
no, and that's the news. So if you were at our show last weekend, we did our exploration of Venus, and I talked about this phosphine mystery that we had found phosphine in the atmosphere of Venus, and a lot of people started to speculate that, well, hey, one of the processes that creates phosphine is living organisms. So it started this whole idea that maybe there's some microbial life living in the atmosphere of Venus. And then about a month or so after that, it came out that the signal was not as strong as we thought. Um, that the really strong phosphine signal was actually due to the software that they were using to analyze the data. But it now turns out that we have a probable cause for the phosphine. No, it's not life, but it very likely could be active volcanic eruptions, which is a good hint that Venus is still volcanically active, which is something that we aren't entirely sure about. So the fact that this could be produced by volcanic eruptions and that seeing it means there was a recent one, that's another kind of good data point in the box of, Venus is still volcanically active.
Kind of a good consolation prize.
Yeah, I think so.
He's got another question. In those Mars photos, is there a mile or kilometer scale? Those
Um,
photos don't span mile, I don't think.
no.
Like
These
maybe
are
football field size.
these. I didn't look up the scale size because these are just raw. I mean, images directly from Ingenuity. Um, but let me see if I can find anything. Um,
Like, it's not a huge area, I don't think, that it's taking pictures of.
I don't think so, but I don't remember.
You can kind of see what looks like a corner of Percy, and like just for like scale reference, Percy is like the size of a car, like a small car.
Oh, that's not Percy. That's hold on. Um, Let me share it back again.
Yeah.
That little piece on the left, that's actually part of Ingenuity's landing gear.
Oh, okay. So even
Yeah.
smaller.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I thought
you can see Jenny's shadow down on the bottom too.
yeah.
So yeah,
How
this isn't a huge area.
how big is Ginny? Not huge.
No, not very big.
Like I'm trying to think of an item in there. Yeah, no, I'm out of luck.
I mean, it was purposely built very small and very light.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if I can find real quick. No, I'm not seeing any information on that, unfortunately.
Looking outside, the smoke is so prevalent. Wow.
So, yeah. I think I'm out of topics.
Yep, me too.
And we'll take one more call for questions. And while we give that a minute to see if any last questions come in, let me tell you about what's coming up over the next week. So
Yeah, Dre just commented on what I was talking about, the wildfires up at the border.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
crazy. Like you can like visibility is like significantly reduced in like at a far distance.
Yeah.
And it's
Well,
just
I
like it's
think
like
we
it's like
finally
green outside.
we finally have like an air quality alert issued.
Yes. Yep.
So yeah, it's
Interfere with star viewing, very possibly.
yeah. I mean, if this doesn't clear up, especially since we are heading closer to the border, then yeah. And I think we had this problem the last time we were in person.
Yeah.
Like, I think there were wildfires, and that caused a lot of haze and kind of interfered some.
Yeah. I know I was talking, I think it was to my mom about it, but we were talking about because there's a fire near Ely, I think, and they were having trouble because they only had, you know how they like fly the like bucket in the helicopter that like picks up water out of a lake and like dumps it. They only had one helicopter doing that because they're so like like what's the word I'm looking for? Resources are so dispersed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. It really
Yeah,
is.
very sad.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, so I was talking schedule. On Saturday, we're going to take you on a tour of the moons of the solar system. Next Wednesday, Eli is going to be doing How Do We Know, which is a show all about how we know some things that are kind of just stated as fact, like the speed of light. And then next Saturday, Lindsay is going to be back, and she is going to do the history of spaceflight, which is all about the very, very intelligent women behind getting us into space. So yeah, that is our schedule for the next week. All right. Well, I think that's it. I think we'll call it there. So thank you everyone so much for joining us tonight. We hope that you will come back for our other shows. We stream pretty regularly on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 7 p.m. Central, and we will continue that throughout the summer. Even though we are open for private shows, we're not open for public shows yet. So until then, we will continue to stream on this schedule. And there are talks about continuing to stream even after we are back open because we kind of like this.
Yeah.
And it's nice being able to like talk to people that are not just in Duluth. So, all right. Well, have a wonderful evening, everyone, and we will see you again next time. Bye.